Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. It has been the strangest spring and summer for growing vegetables that I have experienced. The garden is feeling like it's at the height of summer, and yet here we are just about at the end of February. This time last year, I was thinking about cutting out my first lot of determinate tomatoes. They were the Tasmanian chocolate. They had pretty much finished fruiting, and I had green bambino sprouting broccoli seedlings ready to go in the ground. It's only been the last couple of weeks that tomatoes have really started ripening. I don't have a shortage of tomatoes on the bushes. There is plenty of green tomatoes, but they are taking a long time to ripen. And as much as I would like to get winter veg in, I am hoping we are going to have a mild start to autumn so I can get a lot of these tomatoes ripened. I've had a few strange things happen in the garden, and that is these San Marzano tomatoes. These are seed from my tomatoes last summer, and for some reason I have round San Marzano tomatoes on the bush, the same bush where I have the regular shaped San Marzano tomatoes. Something's going on here, and I'm thinking that maybe they've cross-pollinated because I have more than one bush doing it. These red skin capsicums have been fantastic. These I will be potting up, overwintering, and get them on their second year of growth for next spring and summer. They have been fantastic and are very abundant. So much fruit on them. For such small plants on their first year, I do still have that tigerella where I have stripy fruit on one branch and non-stripy fruit on the other. It has made no difference getting these bought Roma seedlings in months before my other seedlings that I've grown. They are no further advanced. I do think that if it had have been a normal growing year, that they would have been finished and I would have been pulling those plants out and prepping the bed for my broccoli. The Thai pink egg is so full of fruit that it is just a pleasure to be picking pink tomatoes, and so many of them. I think this will be my tomato that comes out first in the garden this summer. The bushes are starting to look a little depleted, so I am hoping just to get most of this fruit ripened, and then I will remove these bushes and get some sprouting broccoli in its place, which is exactly the same spot as last summer. I have the purple climbing beans here. I had been away during the week, so some of them got a little too big for picking, so I'm planning on leaving them there, and they will be my seed for next spring and summer. I plan on growing this again next spring, summer. The Japanese climbing cucumber has been such an asset to the garden. It is trying so hard to rain. We have big drops and it is very, very steamy here in the garden. These tender green beans have really kicked on producing and I'm picking so many from here. For two small little patches of beans, they have performed very well. We've been enjoying them so much that not many have made it into the freezer as yet. And yes, the munched cucumber is growing through the beans and up the arch and across the other side of the bed. They have gone just a little crazy. No complaints from us though. We love cucumbers. The thing that has been lacking in my summer garden is squash and zucchini. Sadly, I have not had enough and I'm hoping maybe for a late burst of those. The corn is looking spectacular and I am really keen to get one of those picked. By absolute accident, the munched are now taking off as the Japanese climbing cucumbers are slowing down, and that has worked out perfectly. These little cucumbers are very nice and the perfect size for snacking on while in the garden. I didn't have my beetroot seedlings planted for very long before the birds dug up one lot. Luckily, I have a spare pot to replace it. I've cleared a little spot here amongst the raspberries for the banana tree. I am hoping to plant it into this garden bed if it likes this position. We eat a lot of eggs and this is my favorite way of reusing the shells. Once cracked, I rinse the inside of the shell, put them in the microwave for 2 minutes, which dries them out, and then I crush them up with this mortar and pestle. It is heavy duty and it is steel, so it does the job very quickly, and I store them in a jar and throw them out on the garden bed when I'm adding to the soil at the end of each season. These are some tomato cuttings I took on the 29th of January. They've been in some sea salt water and now all have roots. I am going to pot them up into some terracotta pots and get them growing, and they will be planted out into the primary school greenhouse for hopefully some late autumn tomatoes. It's all a bit of an experiment to see how late we can be picking tomatoes. I am still on my journey of reducing the amount of plastic that is in my vegetable garden. Obviously, it is extremely hard to reduce it all completely. So many things these days come in plastic bottles or wrapped in plastic. So finding alternatives can take some time, but I find reusing lots of old and vintage things the easiest way to make the switch. Also, reusing or upcycling well-made vintage things is such a pleasure to have around and are likely to still outlive the newer, cheaper made things these days. Also, switching across to terracotta for potting up any of the seedlings, giving that a go this growing season, and trialing some plastic-free seed snails is next on the list.